Welcome to Talking ETV, where I cook, eat, and talk shit. And if you're new here, my name is Mashawn. I am a professional chef, and I talk when I watch TV. So why not make reaction videos? I'm just one of those people that talk when they watch TV, and I'm always eating. And I'm in a extra sweet mood today, as you can see, based on what I'm about to eat today. This is my lazy sweet potato pie recipe. It is on my website, talkingetv.com. Right now, it's already up there. And today, y'all, we're going to talk about why the ones who live don't need a season two. It really don't. The ones who live do not need a season two. Now, let me just hit a piece of this pie real quick. I already broke it. Ignore that, but the pie's already like halfway gone. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't know how good this is, but I'm not even a sweet tooth girl. I've never had a sweet tooth in my entire life. But it's something about a sweet potato pie. It's a few desserts that I will eat, and sweet potato pie is one of them. I'm in an extra sweet mood. I was like, what am I gonna make and what am I gonna eat for the Rashawn podcast? Like, we need to do a dessert. They got me just in an extra sweet mood. Now, long story short, and I ain't gonna hold y'all today. This ain't gonna be no long podcast. I'm getting straight to the point because this is a conversation that it keeps going around. The ones who live season two, the ones who live season two. I was actually just told today that at first the ones who live was submitted as a limited series to the Emmys and actually retracted it because it didn't qualify as a limited series. Okay, on one hand, it was talking about how because the story stems from the mother show, The Walking Dead, my favorite TV show, by the way. So no, I'm not somebody just randomly talking about some shit. Look at my channel and all my Walking Dead reactions. And oh, by the way, all of my full uncut reactions to the ones who live are on my website, talkingetv.com. But yeah, and it's like, it don't count as a limited series. And I'm like, why it don't count as a limited series? Like, was that just because it don't count as a limited series because the story comes from the main show? Or is it because y'all planning on a season two? And it's just been a couple of little things that's been happening. And it's hinting at a season two. And we don't need a season two. Now, being that Rick and Michonne have always been in my top 5 favorite characters, and Denai, really, if I just had to pick one, it's Michonne, it's Denai. Out of everybody that's ever been a cast member on The Walking Dead, Denai is just everything. So we don't need a season two, y'all. We really don't. And that's because it's perfect. The ones who live single-handedly reset the Walking Dead universe. And I have been saying that ever since the first episode. I knew it was going to be that way once it was announced. Like, we knew we were already going to get something because Rick blew up on a bridge. He didn't die. Michonne, Judith told her to go find her daddy, go get your man, and she went and did that. And we all knew that the Rashawn story, and come on, Walking Dead started with a man waking up 3 weeks into the apocalypse looking for his family. And baby, by these 13, 14 years, however many years it's been, baby, Rick got his family, okay? So Rick and Michonne really did deserve that happy ending because they both know what it's like to lose a best friend, a significant other, and a child. That's crazy. Rick lost Lori, Shane, and Carl, and Michonne lost their best friend, her boyfriend, and her toddler. Her baby was only like 2. Like, that's crazy. Like, at least Rick kind of got to see Carl grow up. But yeah, so it ended perfectly. Now, when The Ones Who Live was first announced, I was all for it because Rick and Michonne are some of my favorite characters. And when I found out that Denai was co-creating the show with Gimple, I said, oh, baby, we ain't got nothing to worry about. Her pen game is crazy. Obie Award-winning playwright, if you didn't know, like, Denai does this for real. She's not just an actress. She's an artiste. She's an activist. She's a multifaceted woman. Stan Denai. So when I found out that Denai was writing on the show, I was like, oh, baby, I ain't got nothing to worry about, okay? So, because y'all know Gimple, it could go either way with him. But no, shout out to Gimple because y'all know I have been mad at Gimple for years for killing Carl. And then literally co-creating The Ones Who Live with Denai, and Andy was a co-creator too. It literally kind of like healed that for me. It really did. But in a weird way, It healed that for me. And which to no surprise, my favorite episode of The Ones Who Live was episode 4. The one that Denai wrote, show ran, and acted in. Don't play with her, okay? Now, if y'all don't notice about me, romance is my favorite shit. Whether you finna break down and cry like Titanic in The Notebook, or if it's a rom-com, like, I love romance. I thoroughly enjoy romance. Like, one thing about me, if I'm finna sit down and watch something that's not food related, because that's what I consume, like 75% of the time is food content, whether it be somebody farming, gardening, raising animals, other chefs, me at work, that's what I consume. But babe, when it ain't got nothing to do with food, I want to, is love. And like Denying them was saying, like, what's worthwhile in this world but love? Like, if we ain't got nothing else, okay, we got love. So just romance, that's my shit. Now, if I'm not in a romance, I love me a good comedy. Because one thing about me, I'm a hee-hee and ha-ha. I love me a comedy. So, but it's romance and then comedy. Walking Dead is my all-time favorite TV show. So when Denai's sister was telling her, like, you got to finish that story. And Denai was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Shout out to Denai's sister for telling her she need to do this. And shout out to them for rallying up Andy and getting him to come from England and bring his ass back over across the pond to be Rick Grimes again. He had a jolly old time. So this was the perfect storm. Like, when I tell y'all I don't need anything from television for the rest of my life, romance is my favorite shit, and Walking Dead is my favorite TV show. Also, 2 of my all-time favorite characters, and my number 1 being Michonne. This was literally tailor-made for me. Like, I'm trying to get y'all to understand, especially if you don't know me and it's your first time seeing me. Like, I need y'all to understand. Like, when they made this, I'm the audience. Me. Like, they made this for me. So, I cannot sing the praises to The Ones Who Live enough. If you want to see the clips of my reaction videos and me crying and stumping the floor and all of that, Talking TV, they on TikTok and Instagram. But the full uncut reaction videos on my website, because obviously copyright. But man, it's the best thing. It's like, this came at a time where, also I have to bring up the other shows in the Walking Dead universe, because this really did single-handedly reset the Walking Dead universe. The point of The Ones Who Live was to finish this epic love story, but it was written so well, they answered a bunch of questions that we had for fucking years. Like, how is it that, which y'all know I love the shit on World Beyond, because I fucking hate World Beyond. Because the only reason I hate World Beyond, because I'm not invested in the kids. I don't give a fuck. But it was talked about as if this is the CRM show. We gonna get all of this backstory. These the people that took Rick. Okay. So I went into watching World Beyond thinking like that. And we got CRM crumbs. How the ones, and that's 2 seasons, 20 episodes, 10 episodes apiece. I watched all of it. Okay? And my reaction videos, my face was so fucking stale, I was irritated most of the time. How is it that with The Ones Who Live 6 episodes, we got more CRM information in The Ones Who Live than we've gotten in the whole Walking Dead universe put together? That's just one thing. Off rip, the first episode, getting to see what Rick been going through for the past 6-7 years, that before they had to do the little time jump, like what Rick was going through trying to escape. Like, and then the second episode was Michonne's journey to him. And then they met in the first episode. Let's talk about that. They met. They reunited in the first episode. I did not see that coming. The beauty of The Ones Who Live too, I gotta say, is I got everything I wanted, but it was in ways that I didn't know it was going to happen. So I was excited. I was surprised. I was scared. I was happy. Like, I was all the things. I was fitting full spectrum, okay, of emotions when I was watching The Ones Who Live. So I am so happy. It feels so good to get everything I wanted from my favorite shit. Like, I got everything. I never could imagine that they would have reunited in the first episode. And then it was so good because Rick ain't just jump right on her back and like, baby, let's go home. Like, it took him some time because he like, girl, like, I had to set in my mind that I was never going to see you again. This is life now. Like, I guess I could live for Okafor's mission. And he could live because he don't know what's going on with them. Like he said, if he knows that something happens to her, he's going to fucking kill himself. Like, come on. What Rick tell Michonne? He said, this is a broken world and you're the only thing that... I'm going to start crying. You're the only thing that puts it back together. Hold on. Baby, I'm in an extra sweet mood. I need an extra piece of pie. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I am a lover girl at heart. They really made this for me. Denaya, Andy, and Gimple came in and made so much sense of the Walking Dead universe. They made so much sense of it. I mean, A or a B. All of these years, we never knew what an A or a B was. Like, we had guesses and all that other stuff, but we, like, solid. We heard it from several of the horses' mouths. Michonne is obviously an A. She's a leader. Okay, baby? She thinks for herself. Okay? B's, they're the people that'll work, don't ask questions, things of that nature. We found that out. It was just mind-blowing that it took for this to happen for us to find out all of this shit that we were supposed to know a long time ago. So we found out about A's and B's. We found out more about Jadis and her part. We found out more about Jada's backstory in The Ones Who Live than we did in World Beyond. I hate World Beyond so bad. Pollyanna is such a good actress, by the way. Shout out to Pollyanna, because I fucking hate Jadis. Like, the way that lady portrays Jadis, like, if the villains ain't making you mad, like, are they really doing their job? Like, let's keep it a stack. She trying to keep Rick away from his family. She don't give a fuck if he got kids and a wife. She used Rick as her meal ticket. Okay, so she didn't have to climb up through the ranks. She used Rick as her meal ticket. She don't give a fuck that she took that man from his family. And man, if the villains ain't making you mad, are they really doing it right? Like, so yeah, love Pollyanna. Her portrayal of Jadis is 10 out of 10. One thing that always stood out to me that Andy said is she has the ability to undress him with her eyes like nobody else. And that is the funniest shit ever to me, because y'all know Jadis like to flirt with Rick, and that's always been hilarious. But we found out more about Jadis in her few conversations that she had throughout The Ones Who Live than we have in the whole damn, in the main show, which, given granted, she wasn't the main character. The main show really planted the seeds, but we didn't get nothing like we did in The Ones Who Live in World Beyond. We found out that, okay, we knew that she had a connection with the CRM, obviously. We found out that this lady been trading people with the CRM for years. So she would get supplies for the CRM, and she would give them A's and B's. B's so they could have people to work for them, and A's so they could kill them, because, you know, A's are possible threats. Their A's are threats to the CRM's overall goal and mission. So this lady is a serial kidnapper. Let's just, I need another piece of pie. I'm trying not to mess up this nice lip I got on today. But Jadis is a serial kidnapper. And a serial killer too at this point. If we could keep it as that. Because what she tell Rick and them, my hands are already bloody. They can't get any more bloodier. Like, she don't give a fuck. She will literally take a reclamation team to go bomb Alexandria. Women, children, she don't give a fuck, okay? Jadis is a serial killer. Jadis is a serial kidnapper. These are things that you cannot argue. That's just what she is. So, yeah. Jadis was already a serial kidnapper, but once her garbage people died, and them was the only people that she, other than Gabriel, them was her people for real, the garbage people. She really fucked with them. Like, those were her people. Once they died, I guess she didn't give a fuck no more. She was like, I ain't got shit to lose. So when she was running away from Alexandria and she saw Rick half dead on the bank, she said, meal ticket. She instantly got on that walkie. I have something for you. And she was like, it's for real this time. Like, I'm not playing, because the CRM was sick of her bullshit. Remember, she almost gave Gabriel to the CRM. If y'all actually watch Walking Dead, be paying attention. So she used to strip people down and tie them up and put them in them shipping containers. Remember, Rick was in there one day at the garbage place. Like, the signs have always been there. And shout out to Gimple, because one thing about him, That man already 15 years ahead in the Walking Dead universe, okay? I always forget his job title. He's like Chief Content Officer of the Walking Dead universe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what his job title is. But yeah, no. Shout out to Gimple, because he snapped with this one. And I am so happy that Denai wrote on this. It was so good. I'm trying to figure out, like, it's so perfect. What do we need a season 2 for? Also, this is something my friend be saying. If we're on screen, we're suffering. And when I tell you I cannot agree with that more, they have to give us a story that's dynamic. Our people have to be going against something, got to be going through something. So it was so nice for me to see my favorite characters happy. I love happy endings. I don't know about y'all. They can always make new Walking Dead stories with new characters and make up new shit. I love that. I'm always going to tap into my favorite universe. But let me tell you something. I don't want to see my favorite people suffer anymore. Them people been suffering for 1.5 decades, okay? That ain't enough pain and suffering for y'all. Like, yeah, damn. So I don't want it to be another season of The Ones Who Live because it was perfect. I mean, they dotted all the T's, crossed all the I's, and the suffering is over for Rick and Michonne. Now, one thing I will say is, oh my God. See, we're going to get back into The Ones Who Live because I haven't sat down and really talked about The Ones Who Live. Now, what I do want to see is Rick and Michonne, Carol and Daryl, and my favorite characters. All my other favorite characters are dead, unfortunately. Sonequa, Queen, Sasha, Chandler, Carl, that was my nigga. R.I.P. to Scott Wilson, the beautiful Herschel. So happy I got to meet him. Speaking of which, y'all, when am I going to meet Denai and Andy? My only all-time favorite characters that I have not met. That's a whole nother conversation though. But I don't want to see Rick and Michonne suffer no more. I really don't. Michonne, let's get into this trauma real quick. Let's unpack it. Now, you know, everybody has experienced seeing people being eaten alive, which also trauma is normal in The Walking Dead. It's so common. It's so frequent. It's unfortunate, but trauma is normal in this universe. We are a decade and a half into a post-apocalyptic world. Trauma is normal. But I'm from Chicago, so this is a very good reference. This is an analogy. This is about to make sense. I'm about to bring it together. Now, like niggas from the streets, like G Herbo. I be just saying her, but G Herbo, so y'all know who I'm talking about. He be talking about his PTSD, and he was diagnosed with it. So he really do get PTSD. Now, it's niggas that grow up in the hood all over the country in America, and literally their entire life they're seeing extreme violence and murder in front of them with their own two eyes for years. Like, this is just what they see. He was talking about that, and he was talking about how veterans will literally they will have real PTSD too. They will be diagnosed with PTSD just from seeing one person be killed, one event, or just going through something for a very short specific period of time. So when you think about it, these people in the Walking Dead universe have experienced so much trauma. Y'all, a decade and a half. Do you know how many people, like, this is not just a one-time instant thing where you're traumatized. You're continuously adding on to the trauma for a decade and a half. The mental stability, y'all, that anybody has just about to still be alive and kicking a decade and a half into the apocalypse, and like still the people that still have their mind. Okay, Michonne has experienced, you know, just all the general trauma that everybody else has, seeing people die every day, seeing people being eaten alive, and on top of that, she lost a toddler, her baby that she carried in her womb, her child, her boy, because his fucking daddy and they best friend let him get bit by a walker. Could you imagine coming home to that? Like, that's some circumstances to piss you the fuck off. Like, it wasn't we was running for our lives and they pulled, like, them two niggas was cowering, meanwhile the baby getting bit. Her son was probably a walker. I don't ever want to see it. I don't even want to see what Michonne saw when she came home from a run. But to come home and them niggas is hiding, and your baby is Big Bow Walker. Let me tell you something. And she carried that with her. Literally and figuratively, she carried that trauma with her. Them niggas was her two walkers. She carried that trauma until she finally let it go. Like, oh my God. Just that alone. Losing a close friend, a significant other, and a child early. That was crazy. And then, losing all of the loved ones that became her family over the years. Crazy. Having to kill so many people. It's one thing to witness it and see it happen to other people, but even not wanting to kill people, like when Michonne had to kill them kids, y'all know she don't like to talk about it. She had told Rick when she stopped. Rick was like, "Is she dead?" When she was talking about her college buddy friend, Michonne and Daryl getting branded together. Jesus Christ, they got branded, y'all, like a fucking cow. They got branded on their lower backs. When Rick saw that, I know he really just felt like a piece of shit. Like, the love of my life been out here going through hell, and I'm acting like I don't want to go home with her. And I really do want to go home with her. I'm just fucking scared because if something happened to her, I'm going to fucking kill myself. So, her and Daryl getting branded together. The betrayal. More betrayal towards Michonne. Taking Judith, taking the other kids. I think they took Judith, Gracie. I don't think they took none of Jerry kids. When that lady took them kids. I don't think she took none of Jerry kids. But I know they had Gracie and Judith. That's your college buddy. You are so down bad years into the... Oh, and then losing Rick. That's another conversation. Carl was her best friend. But... you see your college buddy years into the apocalypse. I know you like, oh my God, it's a fucking miracle. Somebody I know, somebody I can trust. She want me to keep looking for Rick. She already got her own group of kids. Our kids could be friends. And you come home and Judith gone. Now you gotta hunt this bitch down. Get strung up like a fucking prosciutto. And get branded like a piece of meat too. Like... then you can't only kill that bitch, you got to kill all the kids. That's different. Not everybody has had to kill kids. There are people that like killing kids. That's a whole nother conversation. But Michonne had to kill... 7 months pregnant, by the way, with Rick's son. And she knows she about to have this baby, not even knowing where her man is at. And he don't even know that he got a child on the way. That's a whole nother... man, it's terrible. So... just so much trauma. And obviously Rick has had his own trauma, which is different. He lost a child as well, but I don't really like to... I just be trying to emphasize that everybody's trauma is so different. I would say that Michonne's was harder, being a woman, obviously. Like, Rick didn't have to carry Carl in his womb. Like, I just feel like it's different from a man to a woman. I ain't even got no kids, but she carried her baby. That was her son in the womb. Literally her flesh and blood died as a toddler because his daddy didn't protect him. Like, that's terrible. Like, at least Rick got to see Carl grow up. Now, Rick, Rick is not as extreme as Morgan, which shout out to Morgan. Love Lenny James down. He ain't as extreme as Morgan, but Rick be struggling with his mental health. As everybody does in the apocalypse, but I love to see how everybody handles things differently. Michonne definitely does it with a lot of grace, though. She's not perfect, but she's literally imperfectly perfect. I love her so bad. Now y'all know Rick, he got a spectrum, I would say. Y'all know Rick, his mental health be teetering, and from him, he will see. And that's another thing Rick and Michonne understand about each other. They literally saw their dead significant others. Like, Rick never even had to tell Michonne, I be seeing Lori and I be talking to her. She told him, I know you see people because I used to talk to my dead boyfriend. Like, they really are made for each other. But I love them so bad, y'all. All I did was Kiki. The whole 6 episodes of The Ones Who Live. Like, it was so good. So yeah, like Rick, he lost a child. He lost his wife. And it was a whole lot going on. Lori and Rick wasn't in a good place. They didn't really get to reconcile everything that happened. A lot of it was Lori's fault. He had to kill his best friend, his childhood best friend, and he grew up with, went to school with, and police partners. Like, that was his best friend since childhood and best friend into adulthood. Losing all of their loved ones. Everybody was fucking tortured with the whole Glenn thing. Y'all know I'm never letting it go. Stephen loved getting the comic book death, but I'm still not over it. It really did push the story forward, though. That'd be my thing. Like, if y'all gonna kill somebody, can it at least serve the story? Yeah, it's just been so much trauma. And to finally see my characters, my favorite characters, happy. Why would I want a season 2 of The Ones Who Live so they could go through more drama? No. Like, they not gonna give us a season 2 of The Ones Who Live and it not have drama. What did Gimple say? If y'all watch the Inside the episode for The Ones Who Live, I watched all of them at the end of every episode. It was The Ones Who Live. I want to say it was the Inside the episode for episode 5. Gimple was like, when Rick and Michonne was in the car on the way home, the yellow truck, he was like, we could have ended it right there, but you know, this is The Walking Dead. Literally, there has to be some drama. Okay, it's Walking Dead. This is a post-apocalyptic world. It got to be some drama. So, y'all, why would I want a season 2 of The Ones Who Live? Because that means my people would have to suffer just a little bit more. And I do not want that. I want Rick, Michonne, everybody at Alexandria to live happily ever after. Y'all could randomly release some shit where I just see everybody gardening, having a good time, playing cards. Like, I want to see my people happy. I want my heart to be warmed. I want to smile ear to ear. I want to be giddy. Okay? Like I was watching every episode of The Ones Who Live. I love being happy. Okay? I needed this so bad. This was a breath of fresh air. They really, really reset the Walking Dead universe. Now, what I would like to see is Rick and Michonne appear in other shows in the Walking Dead universe. Like Carol and Daryl are also in my top favorite all-time Walking Dead characters. Love Melissa, love Norman. Y'all know Carol going to go get Daryl and bring his ass the fuck back home. Now, they be saying, obviously everybody in the fandom got their opinions. Remember when Carol was talking to Daryl on the radio and she was like, came back, but it was static on the radio, so we couldn't hear who named it, she said. And a lot of people probably was like, it's Rick. Like, Rick came back. And that's what made her take her ass all the way to France. Well, I know off rip, she don't know he in France, but, you know, she going to follow the breadcrumbs. She going to follow the trail. So, people were saying that, like, who else would come home that would make Carol go get Daryl? But I'm like, Carol will go get Daryl anyway. That's how I feel. That's her best friend. As stated many times, like before Carol and Daryl ever said best friend out of their mouths, we already knew, like, these characters have been established for years. We know who they are. And Carol will go get Daryl anyway. That's just how I feel. But would Rick coming home give her an extra kick? Yes. But I don't know. So I would like to see Rick and Michonne again in the previous best show in the Walking Dead universe, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon. And I told y'all this when I did that podcast. And I sat down and I told y'all that Daryl Dixon is the best spinoff in the Walking Dead universe until Rick and Michonne comes out. And I gave you all the reasons why. All of those same reasons apply to Rick and Michonne. We're going to get into that. But I would like to see Rick and Michonne and everybody in the Daryl Dixon spinoff once Carol and Daryl find their way back home and a reunion. I want to see Rick and Daryl run across the fucking field like The Color Purple, jump into each other's arms and roll all around in the grass. Like, I need the reunion to be a moment. Like, when Rick and Michonne reunited, it was a moment. I was literally screaming, is this real? Because y'all like to fucking play with me. Okay, so that's when I want to see Rick and Michonne again. If it don't got nothing to do with love and happiness, I don't want to see it. I would like, no. Love, happiness, they have suffered enough. We don't need to add on to the trauma. We don't. No. So I would like to see Rick and Michonne when Carol and Daryl bring their ass back home and everybody reunite. That's the next time I want to see them. Morgan. Where's Morgan? I've seen every show in the Walking Dead universe completely, except for Fear. because I fucking hate Fear, which if you don't know, I never wanted to watch Fear. And then when they announced that Lenny James Morgan was crossing over to Fear, I literally had to binge. He either came on for season 5 or 4, I don't remember, but I had to binge every season before that, so that way when he came out, I could do reaction videos. And it wasn't even about the reaction videos. It was the fact that it's in the Walking Dead universe. One of my all-time favorite characters crossover. Fuck, now I gotta go watch Fear. So if Morgan never would have crossed over to Fear, I literally never would have watched Fear. It just never even looked appealing to me. So to me, Fear peaked when they was in Mexico. It just quit making sense ever since then. Like, the plot was completely lost in Fear. But this is not a Fear rant. And Lenny is so gracious. That man got on screen every day and just gave us 1,000%. Like, he is literally one of my favorite actors. Lenny James is phenomenal. And I know that man got some patience. Because, baby, I literally cannot watch bad television, y'all. Like, I can't do it. It brings me physical pain. I couldn't finish. I think I quit watching Fear in the middle of season 6 or in the middle of season 7. I don't remember. But I was told what episode was Morgan's last episode, and I'm gonna probably go watch that just to see Morgan. Like, the last thing that I watched was the King County episode of Fear the Walking Dead, because, you know, obviously I had to see Morgan go back to King County, and he got Dwayne and his wife, and that was a whole nother thing. But, oh yeah, all of my reaction videos are on talkingetv.com, by the way. But where's Morgan? And I want to see Morgan. Like, I just want to see, I want a happily ever after. We suffered enough, okay? We didn't have the action. We didn't have the drama. We didn't have the scandal. We didn't have a lot of scandal in Walking Dead. We didn't have all the things. I want a happy ever after. So I want Morgan. Where is Heath? Also, but Heath wasn't crucial to the Rick and Michonne story, but at some point in the Walking Dead universe, I'm gonna need for Gimple to bring Heath back around. But I need Michonne, Rick, Carol, Daryl, and Morgan reunited. That's what I want to see. Now, the reasons that I had said, because I told y'all, Daryl Dixon is the best show in the Walking Dead universe, the best spinoff until Rick and Michonne come out. The consistency in the character, y'all. The consistency in the character. Rick and Michonne, again, these characters are established. We know who they are. They didn't go back on who the characters are. They didn't make it weird. It was so well written. One thing that really pissed me off in Fear too was like Morgan like fake participating in the kidnapping of children, and it's like, Morgan, out of all people, like it's so much shit. Like, we know who Morgan is. This shit don't make sense at all. So the consistency in the characters, like, come on now. The pacing. Now, The Ones Who Live was only 6 episodes, y'all. It was only 6 episodes. They gave us almost 10 years worth of a fucking story. It was over 7 years. Y'all, they gave us almost 10 years of a fucking story in 6 episodes. And we learned so much shit about the CRM that we had been wanting to know for years. Okay? Like, y'all, the pacing, oh my God. Like, y'all, oh, and you know, I read all the Walking Dead comics. That's on YouTube. Here on YouTube. All of the Walking Dead comics. I read all 193 issues. They're on YouTube. I literally got on live and read them bitches with y'all. And we was kikiing for hours on live. So, like, I know Rick got his comic book arm. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, Rick actually dies in the comics. So, I love that we didn't get that ending. Like, because why would y'all do that? No. Like, no. And what's crazy, too, is, coincidentally, hold on. Yeah, I actually never saw that coming. Like, when they started off, The Ones Who Live, and they started off with Rick, I'm like, oh my God, because I know Andy has done a couple of things over the years since leaving Walking Dead, but I haven't seen any of them. And I can't even really remember what they were. I know I had heard a couple of things. I'm going to have to look into that. But I literally have not seen Andy act in anything ever since he blew up on that bridge and was gone. Oh, the very, very, very last episode of Walking Dead, when I was at the finale live event in LA, They head in LA. Um, Literally only 8 minutes from my house. Um, the Rick and Michonne that they put at the end of the last Walking Dead episode. I had not seen Rick Grimes since the last episode of Walking Dead. So years later to get, I mean, Andy was all as he's always been since day one. He 10 toes, okay? He is Rick Grimes, okay? He did that. I love that. So to not see him for years and then to come back and they like, y'all, this is good writing. This is good writing. They gave us everything. They showed us the whole everything that Rick went through all of them years. Cause we kind of sort of from Walking Dead, obviously, because Michonne was on Walking Dead after he was gone. We kind of knew what she had went through and stuff like that. Rick was just gone. We didn't know nothing. We just know Jadis took him and he went to CRM. That was all we knew. We didn't know what he was going through. We didn't know what the shit looked like. We didn't even know where he was at. That whole first episode, it was just perfectly paced. Okafor, Craig Tate, that's his name. Amazing actor. He had a lasting impression on me. Love that. The pacing was just great. Okafor died in the first episode. Then the second episode, we get Michonne's journey. Her on the way to Rick. She lost a whole year after the fucking CRM chlorine gas bombed her people that she had found on the road. Matthew Jeffers. Denai acted with him, and she basically wrote the role of Nat for Matthew Jeffers. And let me tell y'all something. That man, he snapped. He did his big one with that. I had never heard of him previous to The Ones Who Live, and now I want to go look at some, like, what else he's done. Like, I genuinely thought that Nat was gonna come home with us, y'all, but this is the Walking Dead universe. Like, I should have known. Like, they get me happy, and anything that y'all should know about me all these years, I do not attach to every character. I do not attach to people easily. I either like somebody or I don't. I have no in between. Anybody that I have ever liked in Walking Dead, I still like. Anybody that I have ever disliked, I still don't give a fuck. Like, I am very, like, I know when me and a character click. Like, I just know. Matt was an instant, like, I love Nat. And I should have known better. So, obviously, it's Walking Dead, so I'm kind of always on edge that they could kill somebody at any moment. Okay, cool. But once the CRM chlorine gas bombed everybody and Michonne and Nat were the only two left, I'm like, oh, okay, that was the death. Like, they killed everybody and it's just going to be Michonne and Nat. Okay. So I genuinely thought that Nat was going to come home with us. Like, I really did. And like, the show, I guess it was just too good. They was giving me everything I wanted. Like, I knew Rick and Michonne was going to come together, obviously, because, like, Denai could be doing a million things. Denai could be doing her own playwriting stuff. Denai could be doing her own personal stuff. Denai could be doing her own activist work. Denai could be being fucking Okoye in Black Panther, okay? Like, there is so many things that Denai could be doing. I said it ain't no way Gimple done got together with Denai and Andy. He done came across the pond. I said it ain't no way all three of them got together just to play in my face. That's how much faith I have in my people in my favorite universe. I was like, okay, they're making The Ones Who Live, so Rick and Michonne, this is our happy ending. It's coming full circle. Rick and Michonne is going home together. So that, I already knew that without a shadow of a doubt. Like, they're not going to do this and play in my face. So I knew it was going to end well. But I should have known that Nat wasn't going to come home. They wasn't going to give me that too. They're not going to give me the epic love story that is Rick and Michonne and give me another Walking Dead character that I love that actually lives and gets to come home with us. Y'all, during my reaction videos, I was hyping it up. I was like, Nat finna come home with us. Him and Eugene, they finna build all kind of shit. Like, we limitless. Like, I was hyping it the fuck up, y'all. Like, I really thought that Nat was gonna come home with us. All right. His sweet potato pie is so good. Dairy free and gluten free, by the way. In the recipe, you don't have to make it gluten free, but I don't eat gluten, so I know I don't eat dairy, but yeah, man, this pie is so good. Like, I'm just in an extra sweet mood. Also, it feels really good to be back recording the podcast. And from here on out, baby, y'all getting the podcast every week. Okay? I got so much planned for the podcast. Like, baby, y'all don't even know. But yeah. So back to Matthew Jeffers. Love him. I was hyping it up, y'all. I really thought that Nat was going to come home with us. I really did. I thought Nat was going to come home with us. Him and Eugene was going to link up and build us anything in the world we could imagine. Anything in the world we would need. Like, I really thought, oh my God. Like, I should have known. I'm finna start crying. I really thought he was going to come home with us when he got shot. Especially since, like, I understand it takes time for people to bleed out. But Michonne, I'm talking about, she got up close and personal with the people. She said, look at me. Slit their throats, y'all. I'm not thinking that one of them niggas is finna use their last few seconds of life to kill Nat. I really thought Nat was gonna come home with us. That was heartbreaking. But yeah, Michonne was fucked up about it. But yeah, it was so good. The acting. One thing I've never had a problem with, other than one character, which I don't know, is RJ. But other than that, I've literally never in the entire Walking Dead universe ever had a problem with, not in the universe, but in the main show. I've never had a problem in The Walking Dead with the acting. Like, the casting on this show is fucking phenomenal. Like, come on now. Glenn, Daryl, Carol, Rick, Sasha, Herschel, like, Maggie. Like, the casting on the show has always been phenomenal. Like, even this new character, Craig Tate, being Okafor, he has a very commanding voice too. Like, when Okafor talk, even if I had an attitude, I'd be listening like, That was great casting. Matthew Jeffers, shout out to Denai. But yeah, the casting in The Walking Dead is insane. Like, come on now. It's phenomenal. So I could continue to sing the praises of the ones who live all day. And the ones who live single-handedly reset the Walking Dead universe. They just came in at the perfect time. I was like, come on, let's rein it back in. Let's put some respect back on this universe name, which Daryl Dixon was the start of that for me. Because it's like, okay, Fear, it's a no from me. World Beyond was actually a very good show. Very good. The production, I really like World Beyond wasn't a bad show. World Beyond was a very good show. Fear was just stupid and didn't make sense. And I don't know what the fuck they got. I don't even know who writes Fear. Like, I'm so uninvested. Like, y'all know we in The Walking Dead, we be knowing Denise, we be knowing Greg, all the shit that Greg be doing. Like, like, y'all, I know this man's name. Why I can't think about it. Y'all know we be knowing all the people. Y'all know we be knowing a lot of the cast and crew of The Walking Dead. With Fear, I literally couldn't name not one person. I was so uninvested. Daryl Dixon, they got the French people and all that other stuff. With World Beyond, I don't know anybody either, but World Beyond was a very good show. The only thing that pissed me off with World Beyond is that it was talked about like, these are the people that took Rick, we gonna get all the CRM information. Like, if y'all would have just said it was another spinoff, I wouldn't have been as mad watching every last episode. Like, I was so annoyed. But yeah, Fear didn't do it for me. World Beyond didn't do it for me. Oh my God, don't even get me started on Tales, because what the fuck was that first episode? If we're gonna be honest and keep it a stack, what the fuck was that? The second episode, what the fuck was that? Hated it. I should have just watched the D Alpha, which was the only Tales episode I was ever interested in. I should have just watched hers. But I was like, even though I knew Tales was an anthology series, I knew it was separate, individual people's stories in the apocalypse. I knew that. But I was like, okay, maybe there's a thread through this. Like, maybe it's connected, but it's not. So that's the only reason why I watched the first and the second episode, to get to Alpha, the third episode. And I have not watched the episode of Tales since. I actually need to do that. It's in the Walking Dead universe. Like, I have to watch it, right? Also, I don't have to see the same stories. So it's not like I'm mad seeing the same people. It's different stories. So Alpha was the only one that made sense. Her Tales episode was great. So Daryl Dixon, 10s across the board. Love Daryl Dixon. Shout out to Norman and Greg and all the people in France because they did that. Love Daryl Dixon. So the Walking Dead universe was kind of all over the place for me because Walking Dead is my favorite show. And then they got these offshoots, and I'm like, okay, what's going on, y'all? And then Daryl Dixon, I'm like, ooh, like, it was so good. And it was so good. Come on, y'all seen Daryl Dixon, right? It was so good. And then Rick and Michonne came in, and I'm like, okay, like, let's put some respect back on the Walking Dead universe name. Okay, so this could not have come at a more perfect time for me. What else do I want to say? I feel like that's everything, y'all. Daryl Dixon is coming back this June. Love that. Yeah. I love happy endings. I really do. Forever grateful that this happened. If I never had to do TV show for the rest of my life, I wouldn't have any complaints at all. My favorite TV show of all time made an epic love story. I don't need anything else. Love a girl till I die, but I'm trying to see if that was all I wanted to say today. As I'm eating this last little bit of the sweet potato pie. When I'm by myself, you know, when my food gone, that's when I'm done. But yeah. Okay, let me actually talk about the episodes a little bit more and like some of my favorite shit. So, the first episode was great. I want to say that was in the first episode where Rick and Jada had that conversation about her connection with the CRM and how she would give them people, and she's been doing that for years. And remember, Rick was like, "Why aren't you working consignment?" And she looked at him and he was like, "Me. You gave them me." So we found out so much, y'all, in the first episode about the CRM. The second episode, Michonne's journey, it was so good. Oh my God, all of the nods and the conversations about Carl was making me cry. The push and pull against Rick and Michonne. I'm telling y'all gotta see my reaction videos. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I have not felt this good about watching some shit in fucking years. Like, man. The push and pull. Because I knew Rick wanted to go home, but I was like, Rick is genuinely scared. Like, the push and pull was so good. And the way that they acted, oh my God, the energy, like, even if they were working together, they weren't really working together. And if you were a real Walking Dead fan, you could see that. Like, when they was not on the same page, but they would be killing walkers together, like, even before when they had killed the walker at the same time and Rick had got that blood all over her face, like, even before then, like, the acting is so good. Like, they don't even have to talk. Like, I can just feel it. Like, they're together, but they're not together. Okay? But once they had that conversation, let's just get to episode 4. Baby, let's just get straight to episode 4. My favorite episode. Denai wrote and showran and acted in that. Like she said, she would literally go from that lady is not dead enough to literally having to be Michonne and get in the scene. Episode 4. Oh my God. Y'all don't understand. I watched that for comfort. Like, I've rewatched the show, period. I have never rewatched anything like this in years. Like, I've seen these episodes, y'all, so many times. It's glorious. But episode 4, that one I've watched more than all the other ones. I rewatch The Ones Who Live, episode 4, for comfort. Okay? Oh my God, it was so good. We found out, first of all, Michonne snatching them out of a helicopter. She was like, one thing I'm not about to do is fucking play with you. Okay? Snatched that nigga out the helicopter. They ended up in these nice high-rise building, because bitch, it was giving very much condo. Like, that was not giving apartment. That was giving condo. And they end up in there. And this place just became this perfect cocoon that they needed, y'all. It was so perfect. Rick was still in there bullshitting. And Michonne put her fucking foot down literally as the world was coming down around them. The fucking building was collapsing, and she was still just sitting in the bed as calm as ever. We need to know where we're going. Or did she say we need to know what we're doing? Like, she was not fucking playing. I'm talking about they done made love, which, first of all, been waiting on that. Y'all, I was crying. The energy was so different. Like, when they was in that first apartment to when they was gone, and then they came into that second apartment, and Rick walked up to her. I was like, ah! Like, he almost didn't even want to allow himself to have that happiness. Like, the way he would, like, it was like he was literally fighting himself to reach for her. And baby, once he picked her up, I said, oh, it's over with. We about to do this for real now. For real, for real. Baby, Michonne was on top of him. That man started having a whole ass panic attack. And it just made so much sense. Knowing Rick Grimes and knowing his mental state and going through his journey all of these years. Like, I knew exactly why he was having a fucking panic attack. And she didn't even have to say nothing. Oh my God. Like, y'all, one thing I have always talked about when it comes to Denai and Lenny James Morgan. Denai, Andy got it too. Denai, Andy, and Lenny. Saniqua got it too. Sasha. Obviously, Carol and Daryl got it too. But like, really, like, Michonne don't even have to fucking talk. Okay? She stayed right there on her man and put his hand right here like, I'm real. I'm actually here. It's okay. We can be together. Like, oh my God. Like, she didn't even have to say nothing. And then he got back into it, flipped her ass over and was like, girl, I missed this. I needed this. Skin to skin. I know Michonne went home pregnant. Y'all cannot tell me that when Michonne got off that helicopter and reunited with RJ and Judith and Rick when they was all together that she wasn't already pregnant. Because baby, they was fucking. Okay? Episode 4, 5, 6. Like the whatever. I don't even think they had a sex scene in 6. Yes, they did. It might have been the beginning. When they had the little mattress, the little pallet thing on the floor. And they were like, we could have escaped and it's the shit that we do or whatever. But no, y'all, I know Michonne is pregnant. Like, another Michonne baby is on the way. If we get to see it, that would be glorious. But if not, like, I already know. It ain't no way that Michonne ain't go home pregnant, okay? Oh, I love me a love story. Like, why would I not want to see people in love? Oh my God. They had a hard conversation. Oh, we got to really see them argue for the first time. Like, argue. And I'm pretty, like, we all know Rick and Michonne have had disagreements over the years. But they really do be talking their disagreements out. Like, they're very mature and they love each other to death. They have those conversations if need be. But they argued in episode 4. I was like, oh, like, babe, when I was watching it, they was arguing, okay? Michonne wanted to slap the shit out that nigga. But she respected him and she loved him. She shoved him good though. Baby, episode 4 was so good, y'all. I'm damn near ready to go rewatch it again right now for the like 10th time. Man, it was so good. Then 5 with Jadis. The end of Jadis. That was glorious. They gave me a lot of peace. Because like I said, she was a looming cloud over our heads. And now that she's dead, we can just fight the good fight and go home. Oh, that episode was so good. They were just so in love. Oh my God. Like, it was the Rick and Michonne that we already knew from the main show. Like, once Michonne got to break through that barrier and just like really bring him back is what she had to do. She brought Rick back and it was glorious. Y'all, I'm finna eat this last piece of this pie. I told y'all I wasn't gonna hold y'all today and I already been on here talking damn near an hour. But y'all, Michonne brought him back. Oh my God, the proposal. Y'all, I could sit here and do this all day, but yeah, I don't need a season 2. And then obviously Gimple, that was him, you know, that last episode. And it was really, really good. Rick healed Bill. That was so nice. Also, I never liked Thorne. Let me know what y'all think in the comments about Thorne being an accidental A. Because when I don't even remember where I heard it said first, but I actually can agree, and I can understand why people will call Thorn an accidental A. Because, okay, this is how people say. They say that when she shot Okafor, she missed on purpose because she wanted Okafor to kill her, but he didn't. Then, people were saying that, and then people were saying, which, now this is what I was agreeing with too, is how she just fell into line so easy with the plan. Now, I feel like that can go both ways, because one, you can be an A and go in line. Well, I feel like I'm choking. I've been doing this all day today, y'all. I don't know why I've been choking. Literally out of nowhere, I just start choking. On one hand, you can be an A and agree with the CRM, because you could be an A and you can have your own thoughts and be your own person and stand on your own business, and just also be a piece of shit, and that's why you agree with the stuff that the CRM was doing. Like the supremacists, the world domination, all that shit. I'm not for none of that shit. Also, the murdering and kidnapping of children by the thousands. Children. So Thorn was literally like, I didn't like her. And she went from telling Rick that we ain't friends to telling Michonne that he's her family. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know who this lady is. Like, wait till it's revealed to you who this lady is. Like, you're who he was looking for. Yes, that's who he was trying to get back to. So I couldn't fuck with Thorn at all. She was like, Okafor literally was trying to change the CRM. And that's why he was doing that whole thing with Rick and Thorn, which Okafor loved him, but he's still a no for me, because not you blowing up your fucking wife. Like, nigga, you could have at least had her, like, just so happened to be somewhere else, and like, nigga, like, he killed his wife for the cause. No. So I don't fuck with that. And then with Thorn, she was trying to get Rick on board even more once she had the echelon briefing. Now, this echelon briefing and all of this shit, you're trying to get Rick on board, and you know these people are about to literally murder. First of all, they already blew up Omaha. You already know that. Now they about to go do the same thing to Portland, which, if you watch World Beyond, the World Beyond kids was on their way to Portland to go warn everybody. But in The Ones Who Live, Rick and Michonne stopped it completely. So maybe at some point we'll catch back up with the World Beyond kids, even though I don't care. But Thorn was really trying to get Rick on board, knowing that they are about to go blow up thousands of children. Like, that is insane to me. You're the same lady that when Rick was just trying to escape, and that little girl, remember the little girl when Rick was trying to go down into the tunnel, and that little girl just so happened to be right there when he killed her mom and her daddy, them two walkers, when he was trying to escape, when he had the body, put his dog tags on the body, the whole 9 yards. My reaction for that part was hilarious too, by the way. I should insert a clip. But yeah, that, you're the same lady that was like, he's a good man and we're from a good place and we got to save this little girl. Remember, she went back to Rick's apartment crying to him. You know, those were her parents that you killed, and the good people get to live another day. Like, I'm not sorry I saved your life, even though you didn't want it to be saved. Bitch, you doing this all over this one child, but later on, you're the same lady that want Rick to get on board so y'all can go to Portland and blow up thousands of children and only take the ones that y'all kidnapping, the ones that y'all deem worthy to be a part of y'all cause. Get the fuck out of here. No, it's no for me. But yeah, at the end of The Ones Who Live, though, I wasn't sure if Thorn was dead, but Michonne literally said, no, it was Denise Huth. I was watching one of the inside of the episodes, and she was like, you know, when Michonne killed Thorn, I was like, okay, so she was dead. Like, we didn't get to see it. Like, it was the gas, and she didn't have a mask, and she had gave up and all of that. But y'all know this is Walking Dead, so I be needing to see. So yeah, that's why The Ones Who Live does not need a season 2, because it was perfection. It single-handedly reset the Walking Dead universe. It is the best spinoff in the Walking Dead universe. It do not get no better than this, because it's my favorite characters and it's an epic love story. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And I would like to see Rick and Michonne again when they're reuniting with Morgan, Carol, and Daryl.